All right, folks, I'm going to lead you through this stuff on the annotated bibliography pretty quickly. You're going to have a PDF of the file. This video obviously will be posted. You're watching it. And this assignment. So what do you have to do? You had to read through it. I'll go over those parts with you again. Then you're going to put together your own over the course of the next week. You're going to get your 6 articles that you found, and you're going to create one of these citations and annotations for each. And you're going to create a file, and you're going to share it with me, just like we've done with all our other papers and everything. You're going to share it with me, and then we're going to work on a citation at a time, and I will be able to help you through this. Okay, so let's take a look at the notes on the annotated bib. This is the sheet that you have already got. What are they? Went through that. It is simply a bibliography, which includes a list of all the sources that you found. It also includes an annotation, and I talk about the 3 parts. The first part, we're going to summarize. What was the article about? Give me the details. The second part, you're going to assess it. Why is it a good one? Why should it be one that you can use for quality research? And then the third thing is to reflect, how are you going to be able to use it in your specific research or your specific paper? Those are all things that people could look for, so I'm having you practice all 3 of those. Now, when you're assessing a source, what do you consider? A lot of different things. Who is the audience? What is the tone? Is this appropriate for what you're trying to do? Does it cover enough things? Not enough things? Is it very biased? Is it not biased? Is it accurate? Is it not accurate? Is it too old to be of much use? Is it too narrowly focused? Is it too broad? Does it just give general information that doesn't really help you? These are all things you're going to be thinking about. All right. Now, why do people assign these? Because I get students coming back from college telling me that they're having to do these more and more frequently. Number one is to learn about your topic. I've heard of people using these before the actual paper is due. It is a way to make sure that everyone has done their research and has learned about their topic. And then the second thing is to help you formulate your thesis, which kind of makes sense. Once you've read everything, you're like, well, I kind of know what's out there now. I can easily put my thesis together. So those are 2 of the big reasons that they do it. And I've heard some people tell me for some assignments, they don't actually give a research paper. They actually will only assign one of these annotated bibliographies. So it's a good thing to know how to do. Now, what do you include? The first thing is a citation, right? We practice these. They look different for InfoHio, InfoTrack. You have your author, you have the title, you have the magazine or newspaper, you have the date, you have the page number, you have the database if there is one, and we're finding a lot this year that don't have those labeled. Web, it's always going to be web, Buckeye Valley High School, going to be Buckeye Valley High School. This would be the date that it was accessed, and this would be the web address cut off at the .com. All right. So we've done those. Now the annotation, there's 3 paragraphs, as I said. First one right here. It's a summary. What does the article say? What's the main message? What are some of the main points that are addressed? 3 to 5 sentences. That's it. Short. Next part. After the brief summary, you want to criticize it. Does it seem like a reliable and current source? Explain. Is it biased or objective? Explain. In what way? Are the facts well documented? How? How are they not? Who's the author? Is this person qualified? Explain. 3 to 5 sentences. And then finally, reflect on the source. How does it fit into your research, the paper that you're writing, the topic? How are you going to use it? Which parts are you going to use? Quotes from certain people? Do you have stats? Does it have basic information? Does it have a list of tips that you'll be able to use? Is it helpful? How? How is it helpful to you? So those are the 3 paragraphs that you're going to write. Now, on the 3rd page of this, I gave you a sample of what it would look like. All right, our heading is the same. It's got your first and last name, my name, the name of the class, and then the due date. Then it has a title, and this is just like a title of any other paper, a detailed descriptive title, Surviving Remote Learning During COVID-19 Quarantine. The only difference is after the title, we put a colon, and we write an annotated bibliography. That's all. So instead of just having a title, we have a title, colon, and annotated bibliography. Then, take a look. We have our citation. This is an article I just found earlier today. And I used my MLA sheet to figure out what goes where. Last name, comma, first name, period. We have the title, in quotes with a period. We have the name of the magazine, newspaper, italicized, no period. Date it was published. Normally it would have a colon and a page number there, but there was none that I could find. Web, EBSCO host, Buckeye Valley High School, available colon, the web address to the .com, and then the date that I found it, which was today. All right. Notice on this, the indents, call that a hanging indent. I know when you type it, it'll look like this. And you'll be like, how do I tab? Oh my gosh, everything tabs. It's crazy. How do I fix that? All right, pull it all back. Go to the front of this line, hit enter, then tab. Hit enter, and it should automatically tab it for you. That is how you take care of that. Another thing worth noting, you're going to have more than one. This begins with H. You need to alphabetize. The second one begins with N. Actually, all right. So we do alphabetize when we have more than one. And for the second one, I just made up a citation and I put here's your first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph. All right, just to show you what it would look like. Now, what I did for this article was I read it and I made my 3 paragraphs. So this will give you an idea. First paragraph, summary. What did I say? Building and district administrators from across schools in Pennsylvania share thoughts on the challenge of remote learning during the COVID-19 emergency. These challenges include tracking attendance, getting access and technology to all students, determining an appropriate amount of work, and helping students be successful in the home environment. The rapidity of the shift, the widening of the achievement gap, and teachers learning on the fly have made it even more difficult. Online learning platforms and meetings should help to lessen the effects created by the lack of human interaction. There you go. It's a summary. We've been working on summaries since the first week of class. I took the whole article. I boiled it down to 4 or 5 sentences. There's some details. This is what you need to know about it. Now, I understand the article, and I know how useful it is or not to me. Second paragraph, this is where you kind of criticize it. Coming from a newspaper found on InfoOhio indicates this is a credible source. The credibility is furthered by the inclusion of quotes by many involved in the situation and with knowledge of kids and learning, district administrators, building principals, education professors. Though it does not include parent or student comments, this is not biased as it presents the challenges faced by schools at the beginning of the crisis. All right, so that is what it is about. It's not biased. It just doesn't include those people because this whole article is about what schools are trying to do way back when this was just beginning a month ago. And then the third one, this is where you can throw in personal pronouns here. You'll like that. Those of you who love to use the word I, you can use it in here because this is how you are going to use it in your research. While the article is good for establishing the challenges faced by schools, it is not as useful for researching practical strategies for students to survive remote learning during the quarantine, which was kind of what I wanted to do my research on. So it's not especially useful for me, and I'll say that. Then I'm going to say how I might use it. I will likely use some of the quotes on inequality, technology, the need for human interaction to put the advice for students into context. Showing district challenges and reasoning should help students see why the things are being handled the way they are and make the strategies for surviving the situation make more sense. So I can use it. It's not my greatest source, but I can use it, and I've reflected on that. All right. And then again, I just put a second one to show you what it would look like. Notice a couple of things. Pay attention to the font, the spacing, the bold, the indents. Yours should look just like this. Spacing, bold, indents, all that good stuff. And then I put a little bit about the alphabetical order. Make sure you put everything in alphabetical order. And the only rule that would make that weird is, yeah, you alphabetize by whatever word is first. So if it's a title, then the first word of the title. The only difference is if an article begins with an or the, then you do what I did here. You move the an or the to the end of the article. New education with COVID-19, comma, the. So we don't alphabetize by an or the. That's the only difference there. Fourth page, this will be the rubric. This is how I'm going to grade you. 40% of it, your source citations. Right up here. author, title, all those things, periods, commas, colons, semicolons, whatever you need in there. That's 40%. The 60% comes from the other three parts. 20% on your paragraph on summaries, 20% paragraph on analysis, 20% paragraph on reflection. And then I put deductions down here and some sample and some ideas. I just typed these in for you. See the sample citation, usual header, time, spacing, all that good stuff for format. For the sources, 6 total. 2 InfoHio, 2 InfoTrack, 2 Google. You should have those. You should have read them. You should have annotated. That should make these much easier. Then the final one, create a file, your last name, annotated bib, and then share it with me. And over the course of the next week, we will work our way through these. As always, please email me with questions. I've been trying to get back to people as quickly as I can, so please do that. Start working on these, get 1 or 2 up, send me an email. Hey, I got them done today. Would you look over them for me? Absolutely. I'll get to them as quickly as I can. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Keep watching the daily videos. Try to relax. And that's it. Hopefully I'll get to see you soon. Take care.